Making it last is all I care to do. You loving me, I loving you. Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life, won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
Welcome back to Making It Last podcast. Today's topic is part 2 of the 12 Pillars of Mindful Leadership with Dr. Eric Holsapple. If you missed part 1, feel free to go back and watch or listen.
It's time for another conversation. Welcome to Making It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, but with other people. And I'm always, uh, well, my bias is going to come out a bit because leadership is one of the things that I'm very interested in. But not only that, because the workplace is where we spend a lot of our time. So if it is that you have a leader who is toxic or otherwise, it can be overly stressful. So we're going to be talking to Eric Holsapple. So he's been an entrepreneur for 40 years. He's been practicing mindfulness for about 30. He taught at Colorado State University. He taught real estate, but he recently released a book, he's the author, Profit with Presence, and it talks about the 12 pillars of mindful leadership. And that's what we're going to be talking about. One of the things that you said earlier, just as you mentioned this one, is the whole idea of a victim mentality. But how then do you, for want of a better word, deal with somebody who has had that mentality and seems as if they'll always have that mentality?
Well, you don't have to. You deal with yourself primarily. If they're coming to you and looking for help, you might, point them to, how that mindset or blind spot might be limiting them. But generally in a day-to-day thing, I just look at myself and just try not to have that myself.
Okay.
I can't, I'm the only one that I can control.
Fair enough.
Right. But in general, I would choose, I think you're the product of the 5 people you hang around the most. And I want to hang around people that make me bigger, not smaller. So I wouldn't spend a lot of time with a victim.
Yes.
I would deal with it when I had to, but I want to deal with someone who's what we term as a player, someone that turns bad situations into good, that's always looking for the positive, those kind of things. Because the world's what we create.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Number 7.
Number 7 is a biggie. Foster relationships with your word and listening.
With your word?
Your word.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you a person of your word? If people can't rely on what you say, then you're not ever going to accomplish much of anything. If you know that when I say something, I do it, then I'm a person that you'll look to and trust. If I'm not, then you're going to ask several people to do what you asked me to do. You're going to say, well, Eric might do it, but I'll ask Bob and Susan too. One of them will get it done. And it takes away your power. Your word is your power. When I say chair falls out of my mouth, and you also know me as someone, it's up to big things. Once in a while, it doesn't happen. And I'll come back and say, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I promised that by Friday.
True.
It didn't happen. I'll have it by Tuesday. But I don't wait for you to find out that it didn't happen. I tell you, and I recommit, or I say, it's just not possible. I was wrong. But here, but I'm someone that you can rely on. And that's efficiency. That's trust and efficiency. And if you're someone that can keep your word, you're someone that can move mountains. But if you can't, then you can't do much by yourself. You need other people. And if you're not someone that can give and keep their word and hang around others that give and keep their word, then you're not going to be very powerful.
I'm listening to you and I'm thinking that so many of our leaders think that they lose their power if it is that they actually say, something, I committed to doing this, but I'm unable to at this time, or I need to adjust accordingly. And I think for a lot of leaders, they think that if they do that, they're going to be seen as weak.
Well, I just ask you, are you weak? Maybe you are weak if you're worried about seen as weak. But to me, I'm a real estate developer, my day job, my career. So I put buildings up, build things that weren't going to be there often without me. And I'm always happy to say, boom, there it is. It's over there. See it now? Picture it. You know, picture the children playing in the playground in the back. Picture the school over here. Picture this. And it doesn't always happen exactly like I think, but if I'm not willing to put it out there and create it, then it can't happen. So, but I'm trustworthy in that if it didn't happen, there's a good reason. I gave it my best effort, and I'll come back and say, listen, that didn't happen, but look what we did happen. Look what we can make happen. And that takes some confidence, you know, to be able to do that. But it's true strength. It's true power.
Yes.
To be able to do that.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, if we're covering things up all the time, that's not power. We're just fooling ourselves. We all know. Other people know. We're the last ones to find out. You know, people know we don't know everything.
True. We're at number 8.
Oh boy, we're making progress.
Yes, we are.
Be in flow, create affluence and influence. So flow has 2 elements to it. One is to be in flow with your body systems, like being in the zone in sports, like yoga gets us in flow, where our inside and our outside are matched. So to me, that's a morning routine again, where I get in flow, then I'm ready to go for the day, and I'm going, and my body is in thing, my mindset's right, and I'm in the process. The other kind of flow is, how do we get in flow with other important people? You know, how do I hang around other leaders that can make a difference in my life, or customers that make a difference, or, you know, parents, or whatever it is. And so I pay attention to where I go, who I talk to, those kind of things as well. And I always recommend for leaders to be around nonprofit organizations is where other givers are. I want to hang around other givers. When I give something, I want to give it to another giver, someone else that's generous and ready to do something with it and will share, not just a taker. Now that happens sometimes, and I'll learn a lesson. But I feel just so many givers out there, and that's how you get leverage and velocity when you meet other givers that want to make a difference too. So, and affluence and influence. I was really stuck in this work for a number of years. Reading the Eastern texts, I'd read and said, geez, you got to renounce all your possessions. You got to give everything away and go to the mountain and sit there. And I just learned there's another way, you know, that I'm a householder, I have responsibilities, and that I could make a bigger difference with some affluence. You know, I couldn't write my book or run my nonprofit, or couldn't have taught at the university for 20 years without having some affluence to be able to do that. And affluence increases my influence.
Yes.
Now, not like I want to control the outcome, but I want to support worthwhile things, and hopefully they'll grow. I want to seed worthwhile things with affluence, and hopefully they grow. Not to just control outcomes because of my wealth, but can I support worthwhile things and have them grow? So in that way, I feel okay about wealth. Sometimes I feel guilty about it. You know, do I deserve all this? Well, be deserving of it. You know, make a difference for some people. How are you using your wealth?
Yes. And do you think that people limit themselves sometimes to think that in terms of wealth, it's just monetary or just money? Oh,
no. Knowledge is wealth. Okay. Wisdom is wealth. Okay. I just think we have to give business people and capitalists permission. I mean, we're in a system, and so often in the mindfulness community, we go, money is a dirty word. Therefore, it's either business or mindfulness. And I think that's wrong thinking. That you can make money and make a difference. In fact, I believe you can make a bigger difference with your time and your money, you know, or if you're willing to. So I'm just saying we have to give, I mean, if we're going to be in a capitalist system as we are in the US, we have to have a way to be spiritual and worthwhile and relevant, and not be misaligned, like, oh, I got to get through work at 6 o'clock and then go out and be a good person. No, I can be a good person all day long. Right. I can make a difference all day long. Work, I love work. I love business, you know, and there's nothing about it that says I have to be a miser, or, you know, take advantage of people or anything like that. I think that's counter thinking. We can be a good person, make a difference in the world, be compassionate, and be a heck of a business person.
Yes, 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 yes.
Change your communities,
Yes,
you know?
yes, yes, yes. We're gonna continue this conversation. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
You can't live your best life without a healthy immune system. Boost your immune system the delicious way with Zappy's organic juices and punches. Made from local produce with zero added sugar, our juices cleanse and revitalize your body as they boost your natural immunity. Try our delicious flavors: Beat It, Berry Bomb, Get Fresh, Ton Up, and Island Splash. Find us on Instagram at Zappy's Organics, or call or send a WhatsApp message at 1-876-779-8910 to order today. That's 1-876-779-8910. Zappy's Organic Juices and Punches. Live your best life today.
For all your events such as educational forums, workshops, book launches, weddings, and more, contact Noreen Daly, the ultimate MC and event host. Visit noreendaily.com or follow her on Instagram at Noreen Daily Jam. Noreen Daily, creating long-lasting memories.
Langdo Language Institute was created to meet your language and communication needs. All of our packages were created just for you. We are passionate about language and dedicated to your success. We offer the CSEC English program, the Study Buddy program, the Get Ahead with English program, and the Business Communication program. Contact us at 767-285-0938 or email us at landolanguage@gmail.com. Because the real question is, how can we help you?
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers, friends for life won't live in the past. All I wanna do now is making it last.
Welcome back to the conversation. We're winding down. We're actually at 9.
Oh boy.
Mhm.
Be grateful, give generously, and serve. So the science on gratitude is irrefutable, how it just changes your mindset, changes your brain. And once we're grateful, I start every day with gratitude. Once we're grateful, there's an after image of that we look for things to be grateful for. If I leave the house angry, upset, that's what I look for. You know, that's what I automatically look for in the world. But it puts me in the position of a receiver. What am I grateful for? Well, this great life, my great family, people I work with, the air I breathe, the sun, whatever it is, small or big. If I'm in that mindset, I find other things to be grateful for in the day, and I see more good things.
That's true.
Give generously and serve. I have found, I coined in the book, I don't coin it, I describe what somebody else came with, it called the precession effect. And it was how the world moves at 90-degree angles. Like when a honeybee goes in and gets honey, right? It's going for the honey.
Right.
But the 90-degree angle is it pollinates the flowers. Or the sun, gravity is pulling the earth to the sun, but the earth goes around it, doesn't crash into the sun. Similarly, a lot of times indirect things are more powerful than direct. So when I go into a nonprofit and I'm serving, genuinely serving and trying to help people and help the community and whatnot, good things happen in business. I meet other leaders in that, and when that leader needs something, they say, "Hey, Eric, do you know about this?" And we're having coffee, and I go, "Oh yeah, let's talk about this offline." And that's how deals happen. And there's a different level of trust that happens. They trust me because they've seen that I have a genuine heart and that I'm a good person and I'm really trying to make the world a better place. And people want to deal with you. People want to deal with givers.
Yes.
So I think you serve to
That's
serve,
true.
and it changes your whole mindset, but also it sets your karma. Karma is cause and effect. So I need to work how the world works. It's not always like we get cold calls here all the time, on the phone. How's your car warranty? Would you do that? Click. But if I'm at there, trying to build a habitat house or work at the food bank or something else, people don't hang up on me. I get to know them, and just business happens because people want to work with people that they know, like, and trust.
Yes.
So that's how
That's
trust
absolutely
happens.
true.
It's a little more indirect. So that's what I think. And it's also the right thing to do. It's not, if you go there, I'm going to go there and get some business. That's not going to be seen very well. They're going to smell it on you. But if you're there genuinely
Yes.
and just aware and open to things that happen and to receive, miracles happen.
Number 10.
Number 10, acceptance means to stop resisting and complaining. So it's just accepting what is. It doesn't mean there's a misnomer that when I accept something, that I'm complacent to it, that I'm resigned to it. That doesn't mean it at all. All it means is I am aware of it. I accept it as what it is today. Doesn't mean that that's what I'm thinking of my future. But if I don't accept something, then I can't be completely aware of it. I'm in denial about it. Once I gain awareness starts to be curative. So once I start stepping on the scale every day and becoming aware of it, throughout the day, I take those little decisions where I don't take the second cookie, where I don't do those things because I've stepped on the scale. I'm aware of it. But I found on a diet so often, if I'm not going well, I miss the scale for weeks. Oh, why wasn't I stepping on the scale? Well, because I haven't been doing very good and I didn't want the bad news. I don't accept it. But if I accept it, then there's an awareness that just kind of fills, and I can start going, time to do something about that.
Yes.
It is what it is.
Yes.
And that's not acceptable to me. There's a little bit of a contradiction there, but I'm going to change it. And we resist. I find I resist almost everything, is particularly initially. I have I didn't want to do that. And then it just kind of works itself through. And we generally, as a species, we complain all the time.
Yes.
Start making a notebook of the times you complain and just notice it. It's just like, and it's not productive.
No, it's not. Yeah.
So acceptance just means to stop resisting everything, stop complaining, just looking at it. It doesn't mean you're resigned to what it is. It means I'm ready to change.
Yes.
I'm ready to change. It's not who I am.
Yes. Number 11.
Take everything impersonally and let life flow through you.
Say it again. Take everything
impersonally.
Okay.
And let life flow through you. We kind of take when somebody does something like they're out to get us all the time. So and so did this to me. Well, I found that we're really not that important. Most people are working on themselves and trying to promote themselves and taking care of themselves. And they've done something. It might impact me, there's no doubt. But it's usually not something that they're just personally out to get me. That it's usually, and if I stop taking it personally, I stop getting so upset. True. I stop, I can just actually deal with it. I run around all upset going, did you see what so-and-so did to me? Did you see blah, blah? Well, so-and-so did that because it benefited them in some way. They don't care about me generally. I'm not that important. I'm looking out for me. They're looking out for them.
Yes.
So, and then I say, let life flow through. I mean, life does flow through all of us eventually. I mean, it all goes through, but can we let it go through more quickly? Can we just let life's events, which are mostly catastrophes, of one kind or another? And can we learn to surf a little bit and just let life flow through me and notice them and take advantage of the next right thing and have a better attitude? Rather than being so bristled and upset about, oh my God, oh, did you see it rained? Oh,
yes.
So what?
Yes.
It rained. Get an umbrella. Stay in. Or get wet.
True. And last one, number 12.
Yeah, beginner's mind means to know nothing absolutely and be curious. So the absolutely means, science tells us a lot about how things relate to each other, how one thing works relate to each other, but we've made scant inroads on why we're here, What is consciousness? Why do we love? Where do we go when we die? You know, the big questions are still out there, but yet we run around with, I know, I've got this all figured out. And we
Yes.
don't know. We know so little with
Little.
what the world thing is. So it's just to have an acknowledgement that the world's a great mystery. And yeah, we know a little bit how one thing works to another in business. We know how to put things together and sell them and, you know, do a balance sheet and, you know, have some profit come in. And, you know, we may know how to play baseball, and we know a few things, but in their relative terms, absolutely.
Yes.
I hope to find out in my next great adventure when I get out of this body, you know, go find out a little bit more. But right now I'm pretty limited to what I can know. I can be curious, you know, I can look up and just look at the wonder and go, oh gosh, isn't that amazing? You know, but when I run around all day thinking I know, it really limits me. It limits me with other people. It limits my happiness.
Yes.
You know, if I know that if people know they don't know, that's okay. They deal with it. They deal with it fine.
For all of them, though, Eric, if there was just one that you'd say of all of them, this to me is the core or the crux of everything, what would that be?
Presence.
Okay.
Be awake. And I would say, if you were going to only practice one thing or one thing to get started and I don't have time, say be grateful. It takes about a minute. Practice gratefulness. Just start to change and do that for a couple months, and you'll want a little more. And then start following your breath. Spend 2 minutes just being present. Take a walk in nature. Leave your phone behind. Just go look at the trees, feel the
Just
wind.
be.
And just do it. And then find you know, most of us have something that really connects us and we're really present with. For me, it's snow skiing. My wife, it's painting. I have a brother that's poetry. Some people it's knitting, you know, it's sports, reading. Find that thing that is, and then get that feeling, go, oh yeah, that's me being present and happy and fulfilled.
Yes.
Can I take that to work?
Yes.
Can I notice when I don't have that and then say, oh, wouldn't it be great? I mean, spend 8 or 10 hours at work. Wouldn't it be great to be happy and fulfilled and present? Maybe, you know, I don't believe we can do it for my best days. I come and go. I go up in my head and come back, but I've learned to look up there and go, let it go. Just come back and be present. And it's so relieving. I love work. I love to go to work.
It might just be reinforcement, Eric, but the whole idea of being present with all of the distractions, how do you stay present in a moment?
Well, it takes practice to start and to have a recognition of what presence is versus what being in my head and being in thought is. And then noticing when I'm not present and just coming back. So it's like training a puppy. Our minds are like puppies. They're always running all over the place.
Yeah.
But can I just notice it?
Interesting
put the
analogy.
puppy, put the puppy back on the newspaper. You know, I don't want to beat the puppy. I don't want to swear at the puppy. Just grab the puppy and put a puppy back on the paper. That's my mind. Just grab my mind, put it back in the present, and then notice when it goes away again. And it's a practice. We don't meditate to meditate. We meditate for what it does for our lives later on. So what happens for me now after many years, and not every time, I still get tripped up, but when stress happens, somebody insults me, just notice myself in my breath. And from there and from presence, I can deal with anything, including death. Oh, that's my plan anyway. Let's see when it comes. But I think from that place, we're all going to have to deal with it. Right? Can I deal with anything that comes up, including that?
Yes. Thank you so much for sharing, Eric. It
You're
was
welcome.
a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was Make It Last podcast, where it's all about helping us to have better relationships, not just with ourselves, with other people. I'm Noreen Daly. Until next time.
Mothers and fathers, husbands and wives, sisters and brothers.